Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 150.
150.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by Theme Park Connection in Orlando, Florida.
And soon, very soon, to be at the Fun Spot location on iDrive as well.
We were just told that they hadn't yet moved, but they're going to open very soon.
In the process. It's not a moving either. It's an addition.
Right.
An addition.
So it's not moved, but they're moving stuff over to sell it. And PixieVacations.com, I think they've returned now they were in Norway and Paris. So if you're booking any type of Disney Cruise Line trip, Paris trip, Walt Disney World, they're there all the time at all these parks. So this is a great place to go, especially for right now we're thinking food and wine and Christmas.
That's right. And also Maple Leaf Tickets, our official ticket agency. Check them out. First, we have a shout out to give.
Right. Connor Crystal had written to me. His sister-in-law Jordan and brother Mac had their first child named James Patrick Crystal. Congratulations.
Congratulations, and thanks for listening. We're going to start the show with Disney Pixar Inside Out. We went to a special screening and we had a little bonus at the end. We got to see some characters.
And we didn't know that we would be seeing them when we arrived to the movie theater.
Right.
And actually we had a flight to DC in a few hours after the movie ended, so we were in a little bit of a time crunch.
Yeah, it was very nerve-wracking because I did not want to miss these characters. Look at how awesome they are, although we didn't want to miss our flight either.
They were really great, though. I was so glad we got to see them.
Well, luckily we had been to a screening a little earlier, so we had seen the film. You were able to run out before it quite ended and hold our spots. Well worth it. Look at how awesome these characters are. We hear they aren't going to be appearing at all at Walt Disney World, which is kind of sad because I think sadness. That's how I feel about it.
I think they should, because I think they would be so very popular at the
Absolutely.
parks. I don't know why they aren't.
Look at that. What a great, we got very lucky to have this experience.
And Sadness was so sad.
Yes.
And this is it's not all about Inside Out today, but there's quite a bit. We sent a correspondent out in early June to a press conference in Beverly Hills, and this was all about Inside Out. And Pete Docter was speaking during one of the segments about Cranium Command, which was an attraction that used to be at the Wonders of Life when the Wonders of Life pavilion was going all year round at Epcot.
So here is Inside Out director Pete Docter to talk about Cranium Command and the differences to Inside Out. Here he is.
We're huge fans of the park. I mean, Epcot, 45 minutes after you pitch this movie, we got to call the guy. We got to get a ride at Epcot. This is go back to Epcot. So yeah, we had been on that and loved that. I mean, you're right. That was more. You're right, a military command center.
I actually animated on that when I was at Disney in '89. And at the beginning, there's a pre-show with all the heads. So I did a lot of the Xerox, and my head was in it. So that was kind of cool. I think it actually showcases kind of the difference between the approach. In this film, we really made it, let me talk about that one. It was like they were talking to the stomach and the heart and the liver and different things. In this one, we said, let's just differentiate from the body and make it the mind. And so that allowed us a whole different playground.
So that's very interesting. I remember the Wonders of Life Pavilion and going in to see Cranium Command. I used to love the animated film before with general knowledge and all that. So if you get a chance, look that up. It's probably out there on YouTube.
And I remember when it went seasonal over 10 years ago, and then the pavilion itself closed for the last time just over 10 years now, which is incredible to me. But it is still used for the Food and Wine Festival and the Flower and Garden Festival. You can get free Ghirardelli chocolate during the right. Food and Wine Festival.
And we love to do the plant. Now we do our planting seminars. All our plants come from there. So,
but I miss all the attractions. Yes. I do miss it.
So we're going to move on. The Disney Pixar Play Parade now has a new introduction. It is a pre-parade of Inside Out.
And then the performers are throwing around memory balls.
Yeah, somehow watching this pre-parade makes me want to go bowling. Doesn't it make you look?
We have a bowling pass to King's.
I know, we need to go back to King's or something, but it really is a great pre-parade. At first, our friend who recorded this for us, he didn't even realize these were animatronic characters. He thought Joy was really a living character. So I think they did a great job with this.
Well, I think only Joy was who he thought was real, and she actually really does. I mean, I would probably think the same thing.
They are all real, of course. As you told me last week, they're all real.
They're animatronics. So, and there is Fear, and I had missed Fear the first time. Fear is kind of climbing a
He's
pole there.
he's afraid to even be part of this, so he is clinging to his life there. And there's disgust. I think they did a great job with disgust too.
Oh, I mean, it's very nice. It's a nice little addition to the parade. I would like to see a couple of them meet in the parks, on a regular basis for a while. It'll be interesting to see if there's a demand for that. I know there will be a demand, but I don't know if people will demand it or ask for it or whatever. So,
and we will link to this, the entire pre-parade, in the show notes. Also, I forgot to mention earlier, we have highlights of the press conference with the voice talent also, which is very funny, and we'll link to that.
I really enjoyed the press conference. We just put maybe 6 minutes of the press conference where we actually got to hear an hour and a half. It was very fun.
Yes. Now we're going to move on to Frozen Summer Fun at Disney's Hollywood Studios. There was nothing frozen about this day. We both almost passed out.
It was like 99 degrees.
It was record heat in Florida, and it was quite hot.
And we're not showing everything. We canceled our premium package. We decided nobody seemed to be interested in us telling them about the premium package this year. We did it last year. So instead, we went to Animal Kingdom, and we will show that
That'll
today.
be later on.
Yes.
So this is this year's parade. I think they call it a royal welcome.
Yes.
And I must say, I thought it was better this year. The only thing I don't quite like is that they separated Anna and Elsa. It would have been nice if they found a way, perhaps put them both on the new float, and we'll be seeing the new float coming up.
The new float, and I'm just mentioning it now, reminds me a little bit of the one from Disneyland's Paint the Night Parade, like if it went through Waxorama and it wasn't as fancy. and again, you don't have both characters.
So this Frozen Royal Welcome Parade really does remind me of Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Time parade they have during the Christmas season. There's many elements that are shared with this royal welcome here. There is Anna in a carriage, and I know this carriage has been in many Christmas parades.
Well, not only that, but they did add on the Frozen section to Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Time parade.
Right, this past season, yes.
Yes, and I think they're going to probably be doing it again, because I think I've already seen something about Frozen, the show, still having Frozen, and I prefer to Cinderella, but Frozen is fine too.
Yeah, that has been announced that Anna and Elsa will be lighting the castle, the Frozen lights again.
And I think the skaters' costumes are a little different. I don't know if we'll be seeing these in Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Time parade. This used to be Scrooge's. Actually, it's been many characters during the Christmas parade. And here is Olaf, and Olaf was on it for the first time this past year, I think.
Right. Well, last year it was very
parade.
odd to have this float here because there was no Olaf. There was nothing here. And it looked like Olaf should have been there, so I guess he wasn't quite ready. But this is a very different look to Olaf. He talks now and he blinks. He's fully articulated, and that was not the case when we saw him at Christmas time. So he is evolving.
And we've seen, as I mentioned, Scrooge McDuck on this during the Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Time parade. I know there's been other characters as well, but I think of it more with Scrooge still than Olaf.
I do too.
But it's fine to see Olaf. And also these skiers are part of the Christmas parade. And they used to be with Chippendale.
Well, speaking of Chippendale, this float that's coming up, this giant ice skating rink, it used to be an ice skating rink, always featured Chippendale, and they would have a snowball fight on there. Not this year, though. This year, Kristoff, as you're seeing there, took over the float, and this whole section really looks very much like what you saw at the Christmas parade. I would even venture to guess that you will see a new addition to this year's Christmas parade, and it'll be the Elsa float that we're about to see.
Well, that's very possible, obviously. But the Kristoff made his debut almost exactly 1 year ago.
That's right.
On this float here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. It was very exciting.
Remember how everyone was like, screaming, Kristoff!
I wasn't screaming Kristoff.
There was no screaming today. Everyone would be screaming for water. It was
it was really hot.
Tremendously hot.
Can you imagine being in those outfits?
No.
Again, almost 100-degree heat, and we did hit 100 a couple days ago, and they're in like these heavy-duty heavy-duty outfits, all of them.
Boy is right. And of course, these skaters here are another holdover from Christmas. I know we've said that a lot, but that's the case. And here is something brand new this year. It is the Queen Elsa float.
And the only person here getting any shade is Elsa. Like, it looks like she's got a little shade up there, which is nice.
Right.
But again, this float does remind me of the Paint the Night float, but not nearly as involved.
Yeah, it is not as detailed. Actually, the history of this float, this used to be the Pinocchio float.
Are you sure?
From the old, yeah. This
I
is
didn't
the
know
old, the
that.
former Pinocchio float from the previous parade from the Magic Kingdom.
I don't really pay attention to the floats, but everybody's asking me, like, which float was this? I don't know. I don't really pay attention that much.
I find it very interesting. So if you have history of the floats, let us know. And even let us know, Disneyland fans out there, let us know of the pre-parade for Inside Out float. If you know, that one looks like it might have been the former Monsters Inc. float. So if we're right, let us know. People, there are experts that listen or watch this.
And there are 2 parade stops here, and I guess Olaf does something too, but I don't know. I didn't see that.
We haven't seen that full parade. It's going to stop right here. So about in the middle of the street is the ideal place that you'll see Olaf and his whole
Elsa
thing.
comes out the back. Like,
Correct.
you didn't have a chance to get that, but, it snows, and so it's interesting.
Right, and it also stops going about halfway down, right in front of the new theater that shows Frozen. This is a brand new show, Olaf's Summer Cool Down, and boy, we needed the cool down this day, as we've said earlier.
It didn't get cool enough here, but this is actually a very cute show if you do like Frozen. But even if you are somewhat liking Frozen, I thought it was worth staying for.
It surprised us. We did not think the show would be as good as it was. It was a delightful, song and dance type of show. And I guess right now it's the In Summer segment.
Yeah, I thought it was nice, except again the heat was pretty heavy, but it was
Well, they
fun.
cooled you off
a little bit. It's not like Wandering Oakens, which is the one thing I would have really liked to have back, is the ice skating rink and the snow. Because when you walked in there, it really was like you're getting out of summer.
Yeah, the whole Frozen Summer Fun seemed to be a scaled down a bit this year. There wasn't a big welcome booth that they would greet you. There was no Olaf on a stick this year, no Wandering Oakens, and especially the big thing that I would have liked to see would have been as you said, the ice rink and the snow. What a great idea! What a great place to be on a hot day like this.
And they put it together. They put that together in 2 weeks last year, so they had a year. So it would, again, they could have piped. They brought in. We overheard that the skating rink. This at least was a little cool. The skating rink came from like Pittsburgh last year, so I'm sure somebody had a skating rink they could have sent.
Well, the big
so
reason,
nice.
the main reason that is not coming is because
Toy Story,
a whole all new track for Midway Mania, so that the area does not exist. There's so much construction going on. Anyway, another announcement, Frozen related, is this. This is an all new ride, and it's called Frozen Ever After. It's taking over the Maelstrom attraction, which is already closed. And why don't you tell us what the Disney Parks blog released about that?
Well, it says that guests will be transported to the winter and summer celebration, where Queen Elsa embraces her magical powers and creates a winter and summer day for the entire kingdom. They will also visit Elsa's Ice Palace and the Ice Blue World of the Northern Mountain, along with other locations before returning to the Bay of Arendelle.
It looks like what you're looking at now is where the trolls used to be, and the boat sort of stops, moves, and goes backwards. So you can sort of envision what you're looking at. And, I was a big fan of the Maelstrom attraction.
I would have liked to have kept that.
It would have been nice. Mm-hmm. And also there's going to be a giant indoor meet and greet location next door. So, as far as Epcot goes, we'll be going to Epcot tomorrow. We will see what the...
It's been over a month since
that
we've
is
been
a
there.
travesty.
I know.
A travesty
But
for
we've been
us.
on the road, and then we had a conference, so I'm just so glad to be going
But we're not
back.
complaining. Do not take Denise's tone as a complaint. It's just tired. It's tired. That's all.
No, I'm just saying I want to get to Epcot.
Right. I do too. We love the Epcot.
While we haven't been to Epcot recently, we have been to Animal Kingdom twice this week.
Twice. And you know why? Poop.
Yeah, that was part of the reason.
But we'll get to that later. We're going to start off this new waterfall, at least new to us, at the beginning of the front of the Tree of Life. Looks great. I think it's really coming along. The changes here at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
A few days ago, there was like a truck in front of the Tree of Life, which is maybe why we didn't see the waterfall.
Yeah, it was turned off. I guess they were working on it somehow. The first thing we're going to look at is the new Starbucks and the former Creature Comforts. I guess it's
still Creature Comforts. It's just a Creature Comforts Starbucks instead
Say
of a
that
store.
5 times fast.
And wasn't it a Fast Pass center for a little while?
Very little while, right?
For a little while.
It was indeed a Fast Pass processing center.
and we are entering in the Starbucks now, and we were here to get is it the You Are Here?
You Are Here
You Are
mug.
Here
That's right,
mug.
to complete our collection.
Is it You Are There, You Were Here, whatever.
It's very nice in here, delightfully air conditioned, kind of reminds me of the Animal Kingdom Lodge. And it's very nicely decorated. You can see the coffee beans up there and the borders. Again, I think they did a great job here.
And I like to be able to go and get, some chai tea latte at the park.
Yes. Oh, here we go. We're going to take another look at the You Are Here mugs. As I mentioned before, we completed our collection. You can see there's also, there's a close-up of the mug. You can see the Kilimanjaro Safari there.
And we were asked what the color inside is, but you can see it here. It's green. And I never even thought about that there's colors inside the mugs, too.
And there is my complete collection. I have all the U.S. mugs. Hopefully they'll get them in
Paris. That would be awesome.
We'll have to make a trip over there. How horrible will that be?
Just for the mug. That's the only reason. And they have these cupcakes, and they don't only have them here. I had not seen the Tree of Life one before, although I've seen it now at another location in the park. But that one we had, and it was very good.
It was very good, yes. We for research purposes only, we tried that. And the usual Starbucks assortment of other
products.
Beverages, or not beverages,
desserts.
Desserts.
And
sandwiches.
Other
goodness. Other goodness. So here is just a look at some of the decoration. Not really much storytelling as far as I could tell. I couldn't quite figure out any story in this particular Starbucks, but it is nicely themed to to the Harambe area, which it sort of borders.
But if we talk to Joe Rohde, I bet he would say, this is the story of Starbucks.
I would like to hear that. I would love to hear that,
like
because I could not quite figure out what the story in this particular Starbucks was. But again, it's nice to have it in all 4 parks now. And I'm glad we went to Animal Kingdom, but it's not over yet because there's a brand new area that opened up. And that was really the main reason we went there.
Well, the Harambe Market has been open for a number of weeks. We have not had a chance to go there. Again, I mentioned the traveling earlier. I wasn't complaining about the traveling, but we just haven't had a chance to get over. And we got over twice this week. We liked it so much, the Harambe Market area. It is such a very, very nice addition to Disney's Animal Kingdom Park, which if you have not been there in like a year, will look very different to you in many areas of the park, especially the Harambe area.
Right. So we're about to enter the Harambe Market. I should right off the bat tell you the food begins at 11 o'clock. So do not think you're going to be able to get in there and even have breakfast or a coffee or anything. You cannot get any kind of anything until 11.
Well, inside you can go to the sweet shop.
Correct. Now that's true.
That was open, and there's other areas open, but here we wanted to get some lunch, and it opened at 11.
Which was a great time to be there because it wasn't as crowded yet. This was
the day
later in the
before,
day.
so.
And you could see it was quite crowded.
We've had 2 lunches there. I really liked. They have this beef item that says it's a ground.
We're going
beef.
to get to that. We're going to show that. We're going to show all the different items.
Okay. This is the theming of it. It is very, very nicely done, and there's a couple of Mickey Mouse references, which I'm sure we'll see.
We're seeing them very soon.
But out there, I love this one. Like, I hope
that should have been in Starbucks.
I want this on a shirt.
Yes, I would buy that shirt.
It will say Mr.
Because we
Mouse.
don't have enough shirts. It seems like there's 2 or 3 shirts released every week.
Actually, there's like 3 references to Mickey here. I think one of them on a shirt here.
Right.
But 2 that are very noticeable. And that was one of them. I know we have so many shirts, but I like the Mr. Mouse. I would like that. And somebody said they wanted it on a print.
You know, we don't get to Animal Kingdom enough. It's really one of the most beautiful and detailed of the Disney parks. And kind of like the Magic Kingdom, the Magic Kingdom has the windows on Main Street where they pay tribute to some of the designers. This is what we have here in this new area, and there's a tribute to my barber Michael.
Are we sure it's his?
I think it is.
I think it is too. When I saw Barber
obvious.
Michael, I'm like, oh, except it's not spelled the same.
Well, we need to take a picture of this and bring it in. Oh, and there's Joe Rohde, and that's not spelled the same, but we all know that's a Joe Rohde. So there's probably more tributes there, and we'll have to keep our eyes out for that. Here is that hidden Mickey you talked about.
Yes, and I really enjoyed coming here, especially after, we spent a couple hours at the Frozen Summer Fun, and then it was like, it felt so good to come here because it just feels like it's probably something very authentic to, real life, and I kind of was wanting that.
I think people can still enjoy Frozen Summer Fun. I think it has improved in some ways.
But for me,
right? I know. I think you're probably frozen out.
I'm a little frozen out, and I like the characters and I like the movie. it was nice to come here and feel like I'm seeing something authentic. That's sort of what I wanted on that day.
Well, I enjoyed it myself too. I like the location. I like how the train comes by here. It's very relaxing. We actually enjoyed it so much we came back again to try a little bit more of the food for research purposes,
And
of course.
poop.
And sangria. I loved their sangria there. It was wonderful. We're going to take a look at the first item now. These
dreamy
are the
ribs.
dreamy ribs. And let me tell you, they do not scrimp. This could have been shared with 3 people, and 3 people would have been full. It's not cheap, $13.39.
I don't eat ribs either, so you had to eat them all on your own.
But look, that is huge, and it's heavy. It's a couple pounds.
It looks like something the Flintstones, like Fred Flintstone would eat that.
Yeah, that's all meat. It was, and of course we paired it with the amber Safari Amber beer there. Probably not the best choice on a 100-degree day. Maybe that's why I was feeling a little lightheaded after eating all that food.
And I had a sangria, which was very good.
Now we didn't try anything from the sausage area, but
I won't eat the corn batter sausage. Like, that won't be my thing.
But we tried 2 items here: the flatbread and the chicken skewer. We're going to get into that, and we'll see those in just a minute.
I will say, I think the chicken skewer was a little skimpy for the price of $8.99. But I thought the ground beef kebab flatbread, like, we
That was
shared
a great.
that.
That was a
Yeah,
very good
I
deal,
like
and
that.
it fed the 2 of us perfectly.
But it's not really ground beef, but we'll show that.
Right.
And it's like 4 pieces of chicken on a stick, and it was enough for me for lunch, but it wasn't, like, to me, $9, like, maybe you'd get a second skewer.
Let me tell you, that sangria
sangria was
delightful.
good.
It is a $9 drink, though.
We almost never drink in the park. We have now had 2 sangrias, probably not anytime soon again, but, we figured frozen summer fun package,
Right. By
canceled.
canceling that, we were able to have all this stuff, not
Yeah.
to mention the poop that you're about to see.
And does this look like ground beef? It isn't really like ground beef. And I looked at it and I'm like, oh, it looks sort of like a steak and maybe it won't be good. But it was actually very good. And we were able
I would
to
have
share
that again.
I would, absolutely.
I would absolutely have that. And I would love to have that again if it wasn't so darn expensive.
We don't usually drink in the park, except maybe during the
You
packages.
see, again, we brilliantly saved money by
Yes.
canceling that frozen summer fun.
And we
package.
still have some left over.
That's right. So we'll have to come back and have
Another
yet
sangria.
another.
No, it's okay.
So we're going to continue our tour here, and we're just going to take a look at some of the drink options. There's that Safari Amber I had earlier, and also you can get the Star of Harambe in a collectible mug.
And now the I-4 one is local, so I thought that was an interesting choice to add to here.
Well, it's better than putting Budweiser or something, At least it's
Right.
giving you a better option.
I saw that
suppose.
on tap at Legoland Hotel.
Is that right?
Yeah,
I
they
did not
do have
see
it.
Internet. See, you have the Internet Cafe. When's the last time you've seen a real Internet Cafe?
The last time I used one was in London, like 10 years ago.
So here is the other, not so hidden Mickey.
And you liked that one. He
I
was so
did.
cute.
I would like a shirt of that also.
Maybe the Disney Parks blog will eventually have a limited release shirt of the Harambe Mickey Mouses.
That's right. They're getting very obscure with all their releases this year. I think we just had a Spin and Marty shirt. Is that not right?
Yes, but they have other ones that aren't so, Jungle Cruise and all that too.
Right. But again, we highly recommend this area. Now we're going to head into the new store, the Zuri's Sweets that just opened.
Right, this is a Zuri's sweet shop, and we were told there is actually a Zuri still alive, 92 years old. Some of the items on the ceiling come from her shop.
Right.
And it's all like recycled items, which I think is very nice to reuse items to, like, I don't myself always need new stuff, so it's nice to have, it's so colorful.
And over there, it's hard to see. It's off on the right, but they have spices, and we picked up. There it is. It's you can't really see it, but there are
flame tree
spices. When we
spice,
picked
I
up that
believe.
flame tree spice, and we're gonna fire that up and try that pretty soon.
And a lot of these items were made only for the shop, although maybe you'll be able to eventually see them elsewhere. There's an elephant on a stick. I don't know.
Elephant on a stick is a good thing.
And we were on the search for the animal poop.
Yes, well, that's the big
Yeah.
thing. They have animal poop here. Not, of course, it is actually brownies and dessert type items that are sort of to look as animal poop. poop.
And it doesn't say poop on there. I know it says poop
And
on
there
the
it is.
register.
Everybody's very excited about
It's called
this.
Match a Species. I will say the only one I really like is a giraffe.
That's the second one over there, the one that has multiple pieces to it.
And this has been like the main thing. Like everybody's just like, and I wanted to find more of the story of the shop as well. But at the same time, this is what has drawn the most interest.
We've tried them all now, and I would agree with you. The only one I would ever get again would be the this one right here.
That's the giraffe poop.
So
it's like brownie bites, and for some reason it's sitting in a liquid. So I don't know if that's
That's a
leftover.
bonus. That is a bonus. And we won't get into that.
But it's actually very tasty, like little brownie bites. The rest of them are very thick, really thick, like a protein bar type thickness.
But the shop is not all about poop. There's some much more important work to be found here.
Right, and these are called blessing baskets, and a friend of ours told us about them. Somebody from Ghana made the baskets. I mean, there's, I guess, many people there who create these baskets, and it helps lift themselves out of poverty. And you can even email them and just follow their story and everything too, which I think is awesome, because not only can they be out of poverty, but then these items are sold in the U.S. So the United States, like Walt Disney World Company, the cast members are selling it, so it brings jobs. Brings jobs here too.
Good for all.
Yes, I think so, and I like to see the whole poverty cycle being broken as often as possible. And when you look on the ceiling, there are all these recycled items, and what we were told was that these came from Zuri's store. She's 90. I mentioned she's 92 years old.
I don't think yet.
She's
Wow.
still alive, 92 years old, apparently still working. And these items, I looked up, and there's like a Nestle wrapper is part of one of these items. And I just thought that was incredible.
So again, 2 thumbs up, wonderfully detailed. We love this whole new area at Disney's Animal Kingdom in Harambe. So I can't wait to go back. I'm sure we'll be back for our own pleasure soon.
Yes, very soon.
So anyway, that's another show.
That's another show.
We want to thank Pixie Vacations, now back from their whirlwind trip to Norway and to Disneyland Paris.
I know, that must have been some trip.
Yes, we need to get back soon.
Yeah, I know, like next week. No.
And also Maple Leaf Tickets, our official ticket agency. Be sure to check them out. And Theme Park Connection, our original sponsor.
Soon to be in 2 locations.
That's right. So everybody have a great week, and we will see you all next week.
Have a great week.